Hi, welcome back. Today we've got another £500 worth of £2 coins we're hunting through, looking for commemoratives, ones more than face value, but ideally looking to fill the book. We need 3 Commonwealth Games coins. They are the hardest £2 coins to find in circulation though. Northern Ireland, Scotland and England. We've got the Mary Rose and Olympic Rio handover for that page. Otherwise we're complete up to that pesky 2021 Britannia, which still hasn't made it into circulation yet, although the mintage figures come out, so who knows when that'll turn up. Let's get into this bag though and see what we get. Right, into bag number 1. So that is Technologies. We don't particularly want that design. There are some years it's lower minted than others, just not low enough that I think any of them are worth keeping. Obviously, if you want to collect a lower minted Technologies year, that's perfectly reasonable to do. We all collect different things. We've got Brunel's portrait there, a very, very common design to find in circulation. At the end of the video I will go through all the commemoratives and check them for any edge inscription errors. That's whereby the inscription on the edge of the coin. Let's demonstrate with an edge hunt in case the wrong outer has been put with the inner, or the wrong edge inscription put on it, whichever way you want to look at it. So if it says standing on the shoulders of giants, we know that that is a Technologies coin. It's an Isaac Newton quote. I think this is the case of the diddlies, so we'll just flick through and double check I haven't missed anything. So no, bad example of showing you what the edge inscriptions are like. Let's try one more bag then. I get kind of determined to find an edge inscription. What's this one? Oh, that says giants. Standing, giants, shoulders, shoulders. Oh goodness. Well, this isn't what we wanted. Right, let's try one more. Stubbornness, determination. We will find one. Right, giants, shoulders of giants on the what's that one? Remember. Easy one to recall. That is the Guy Fawkes £2 coin. There we go. So obviously, if the wrong edge inscription has been applied, that's an interesting error. It has been the only one I've ever found is the Shakespeare tragedies. Although there's always rumours of other coins having the wrong edge inscription, or the odd one person who has found a Brunel one, for instance. But I remember a year or so ago someone messaged me saying he's got the wrong edge inscription on the Brunel coin. And that's another commemorative. In fact, there's one we keep a track of. Some of the coins we keep a track of, how many we find. Army Centenary, so check for rotation error. So that's the way the queen should be facing after rotating it 180 degrees. And then edge inscription for king and country. So that's all fine. I think it's always definitely worth checking the edge inscriptions, especially 2016s, because that seems to be the year where edge inscriptions went a little bit awry. But oh, there we go. Charles Dickens, another very common coin. Let's pop that on the top. That's fine. But yes, it'd be very cool to be the first person to find a new error, which obviously you won't find if you're only looking for the confirmed errors. You've got to keep your eyes peeled for other things. There's another Brunel's portrait. See, there's 2 Brunel coins. This is the Trinity House, very common coin. And nothing else there. Obviously some coins as well won't have edge inscriptions, like the Territories £2 coins. I don't know if that's all of the Territory coins that don't have edge inscriptions, but I know some of them don't at least. Territory coins aren't my area of expertise, as I'm sure many of you will know. Coin collectors tend to focus in one area. But having started working at the Britannia Coin Company, of course, my knowledge of wider coin collecting has been somewhat increased. Oh, there we go. We'll start with this one then. This is Shakespeare's Tragedies, one of 3 Shakespeare £2 coins. This is the middle of the road one. It's not the most common, it's not the rarest. Check that edge inscription though. What a piece of work is a man, sadly correct edge inscription. So there we go. One thing that I think it would be really worth doing at some point is compiling a list of known errors. Because that's what I'm always asked. What errors should I be looking for? And how do you know them all? And it's just a process of someone will say, I found this error. Well, there we go. Another Guy Fawkes. and then I've got to add it to my to check list in my head. A bit like, you know, like when the 2019 Restrike 50p's came out. It was just a case of learning which ones were in that set to potentially been broken out and put into circulation. The same as any NIFC £2 coin. After you've been hunting through coins for so long, or you've been collecting them for long enough, you remember which ones are in circulation, which ones aren't. That is Rugby World Cup, very common coin, but we haven't had it today, so it does add some variety. But I'm ever hopeful, especially with a new king, soon to have his coronation, that, oh, there's Charles Darwin, slightly over face value, very recent upgrade to the bottom row. But no, I'm hopeful that with a new king on our coins, hopefully that'll entice the mint to want to put, or in fact, well, not just the mint, because the mint doesn't have the deciding say, but will persuade the government. Oh, there we go. Active Union, another common one, because surely they'll want his coins in circulation. They're not, obviously, they don't misinterpret. There's lots of people recently, for some reason, saying that the Queen's coins are going to be withdrawn and replaced entirely with the King's, which, as far as I'm aware, is not the case and won't be the case. It's only if there was a redesign, you know, like happened with the old pound coin. It got totally revamped. The old ones were withdrawn and destroyed, in fact melted down and used to make the new ones. Trevithick steam locomotive there. Nothing else there. I think the success of the security of the new pound coin is a real hindrance to putting £2 coins out there, because with the £1 coin being so secure against counterfeiters, that the £2 coin unfortunately is more susceptible to counterfeiters. So anyway, hopefully it's not the end of the £2 coin, because it's arguably my favourite denomination to buy the silver proofs of. I think they look absolutely gorgeous. But even though they're not as popular as 50p's, which is understandable, because 50p's for a collector isn't so much to keep. That was a bit funny, isn't it? It's only 15, so it's a relatively new one that's just obviously had a very tough life in circulation. Although 2015, that is more years ago than in my mind it was. But there we go. Right, we've got Jodie Clark's 5th portrait of the Queen. We know this is going to be something, because from 2015, when this became the new portrait, there's a new definitive design on the £2 coin, Britannia, or it could be one of the actually not going to be Britannia, because it's not got the year on this side, so it'll be one of the commemoratives then. Oh wow, Navy Centenary, that is a star find for sure. This one's got no flag error. The flag error you'll find just there, little lumps of extra metal that shouldn't be there where a die has been damaged. Obviously the die is what has the impression of the design. When it gets minted on, it strikes the design onto the coin. So sadly not one of the errors there, but nonetheless, wow! Now we're getting into the swing of things. This is the Olympic Centenary £2 coin, a really tricky one, and one I think we've only just recently ticked off in the book. One of the last few we needed, so to get another one of those is very cool. It's not the Olympic we need, that's the Rio handover, but I have got stuck on the Olympic Rio handover. My first ever £2 coin book that I hunted through to collect in videos, that was the last coin I needed, and I think as long as I find a Northern Ireland, and that's not the last one, we will battle on until the book is complete. The problem is, it's like with when you're stuck on just the Kew Gardens for a book, they are so rare, so hard to find, it can be a bit demoralising. But I always think, if I just, oh there we go, abolition of the slave trade, not the common one. But no, if I was to end the book and start a new one up, all it would be is I get stuck on that coin for another book. So I think if we can tick off the rarest one, we will continue on until I slowly descend into madness. But we're on to the last bag of the hunt now. Oh, knocking things over. So a couple of star finds, nothing too extraordinary. That does add to it though. Robert Burns, it's a fairly desirable coin, not hugely over face value, but still a keeper in my books. There is links in the description to my coin collecting Discord server if you want to come over to that. It's full of lovely coin collectors. I'd love to chat to you about all your different coins and whatnot. What's this one going to be? Another Army Centenary, so there's no rotation error. King and country on the edge inscription. That is as it should be. There's also links to my other social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. There's the PO Box address you can write into, and of course the Britannia Coin Company, who I work for, making videos for them, so please do check that out as well. I'm going to check through the coins off the side, see whether we've got any errors we might have missed. Well then, unfortunately, no errors, nothing new for the book, but we can't really complain, especially with these top two finds, that Olympic Centenary and the Navy Centenary. Very, very cool finds, so more than happy with those. But as ever, let me know in the comments what your favourite coin from today's video is, and all it leaves me to do is to mumble incoherently. Thank you for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed, and see you next time. Bye!